Mark Burns, a MAGA Republican candidate who also happens to be a pastor, is running for a House seat from the state of South Carolina. And recently, on the Stu Peters show, Mr. Burns, Pastor Burns, I should say, kind of outlined what we can expect from an America where he actually has authority. And in that America, pretty much nobody is safe from being prosecuted and executed for treason. Pastor Burns, right? A little bit of fire and brimstone in him. So let me read what he has to say about what he would like to do, possibly, to Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell. Here it is. I am going to push to reenact HUAC, the House Un-American Activities Committee. It is a committee that we should reenact that starts holding these people accountable for treason. Lindsey Graham should be held accountable for treason for supporting Joe Biden's gun-grabbing Second Amendment law that he's trying to push forward. Mitch McConnell just urged other Republican senators to support Lindsey Graham to come after our guns, to confiscate our guns. They should be held for treason. We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people who are found guilty for their treasonous acts against the Constitution of the United States of America, just like they did back in 1776. So, he's not expressly saying we have to kill Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, but he does want to try them for treason. And then, of course, if they're guilty, then yeah, you're going to string them up, I guess, outside the Capitol. This is pure lunacy. Not to mention, the House Un-American Activities Committee was seen as one of the darkest spots in modern American history, right? It's up there with slavery and segregation and the, genocide of Native people here in the United States, right? That's maybe not quite as bad as some of those other things, but nobody looks fondly upon HUAC, except, of course, for Pastor Burns, who, again, you're a pastor and you're out there saying, you know what? Start killing people. Why not? Bring it back like it's 1776. But don't feel bad, folks. It's not just Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell that he wants to try for treason. Apparently, he also wants the parents and educators who support transgender youth to possibly be brought up on treason charges as well. Let me read that clip. Or quote, excuse me. There is no such thing as trans kids. There are only abusive parents who are pushing that evil, evil sexual orientation onto their child's mind. I want to make sure that those parents have been held accountable. We should start putting some of those parents in jail for abusing their child's minds, especially in the school system. Any teacher that is teaching that LGBT, transgenderism, furries, the groomers, any sexual orientation communication in the school system should be immediately terminated, but teachers should also be held for abusing young children. They were indoctrinating those young minds then. They are doing the very same thing here in America. The LGBT transgender grooming our children's minds is a national security threat because it is ultimately designed to destabilize the republic we call the United States of America. That's why when I'm elected, I don't want to just vote. I want to start holding people accountable for treason to the Constitution. So maybe the parents are guilty of treason because they're encouraging their children to switch genders, which means there's not going to be a new generation of America, and that is anti-American to not be producing more Americans. I'm going to have an aneurysm trying to dance around and follow his logic here because it doesn't exist. The man, in my opinion, is a lunatic. I despise Lindsey Graham, I despise Mitch McConnell, but I'm not about to go out there and suggest that either of them has committed treason to the United States. This man, again, I feel firmly, very strongly, is an absolute lunatic, and hopefully he loses his primary so that we never have to talk about Pastor Mark Burns ever again. Hey everyone, this is Aspen, and did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.